my honor to introduce our new interim head coach. He's ascended, and late in his career, he went from special teams to interim head coach in about a week. So why? Because he has sat the seat. He's had years of experience, successful experience. He's got a great connection with our student athletes, and so we're happy to have him. Rob, come on up.
Thanks.
Yep.
So how in the world are you guys doing today? Quiet crew. All right. Well, obviously there's a hell of a chain of events taking place right now, and it's it's tough for everybody. But things happen in life, I think, that are tough for everybody too, and that's what that's what we're here to help these players, because the and you're gonna hear me say this, I hope, several times today, that what matters the most is the players, and we've got to make sure that they're taken care of. And yesterday was a hard day for everybody, and I mean, I know it was a hard day for everybody because Coach Bray is he's a Beaver legend and has been as a player, as a coach, as the numerous things that he's done, and I can't say enough about Trent, and I'd say even more about him as a man. And I talked about him when I had the opportunity to visit with some of you guys last week. You asked me the questions, and I know that our players, they felt that yesterday when it took place, if that makes sense what I'm saying. And it was it was like a funeral going through that yesterday, to be honest with you. And you know those guys came here for him, and I know believe in him, and still do, and they always will, and he'll be coached in forever. And that's the way I think that it ought to be. That's cool, and I think that speaks a lot about Trent and who he is as a person. That matters a lot. And but we've got ourselves in a situation now. We have an opportunity that we've got 5 games that are in front of us, and there's a football team that they came here to the opportunity to get their degree, obviously the opportunity to play football, because that's what drives the bus for most kids, and they get to have the degree, and they're set up for life as they move forward. And that's what we're here to make sure that they see that light and it gets channeled that way, because that's what college is all about. They get the great opportunity to be able to play athletics, to play football, and that's a huge deal. There's I think I was an English major. You can tell by how well I speak. Not a math major, but I think there's somewhere around 365 days in a year, and 12 of those days, so that leaves us somewhere about 353 days. 350 days, you get Christmas and Thanksgiving. You get to breathe a little bit. Well, not Thanksgiving. You get to breathe a little bit, and all the rest of that time is put towards those 12 opportunities. So hopefully, it produces a few more opportunities, and they've put a ton of work in, and we haven't had the result that we want to have just yet. And our goal is to see them be able to smile coming off the field again, and be able to achieve what they came here to achieve, and accomplish some things, and feel good about what they've done. And that's what that's the boat that we're in right now, to make sure we create that opportunity for those guys. And what you learn, and that's the beautiful things about athletics, and helping growing people up. You learn a lot of life lessons through athletics, through football, and losing a game feels like death. And obviously, it's not as expensive as death, because that's I hope you don't think I'm trying to make a poor comparison there, but that's what it feels like to a young guy. And be real honest with you, that's what it feels like to us coaches too when it doesn't work. And and so they've been hit with that, and they got hit with what happened yesterday, and so we got to help them get through that. Well, there's going to be things in life that are going to be a hell of a lot more expensive than having lost a game. There's going to be something happens with maybe the business that you're getting started, or something's happening with your marriage or your kids. You're not going to walk away from your kid because something happened or he did something knucklehead. You're going to be there for him and help him through it. And you pick yourself up by the bootstraps, and that's what athletics teaches everybody. That's what football can teach everybody. So you be a better dad, a better leader, a better person as you grow. We get the opportunity. That's the beautiful thing about what we get to do as coach. We get the opportunity to help these guys grow up. And we're dealing with adversity big time right now. Okay, so we're going to make this be positive. We got to make the positive come out, and make it go happen and see the opportunity that is out there in front of them. And that's what we're going to do. And we'll have these guys, they're going to be channeled in. We're going to be together, and we're back on the field tomorrow, and we're going to be rolling, and it's going to be an exciting time. We're going to bust our tails to make it great for them and help them accomplish what they wanted to accomplish. And I'm starting to babble a little bit now, so I'll chill out a little bit. But that's what I think. That's where we're at with the situation that we're in right now. And I am excited to be able to help these guys through it. And that's what matters most. And again, the players and finishing this season in a positive way and letting them accomplish some things, helping them to be able to accomplish some things. That's what matters the most, and that's what we're going to be able to do. And they'll be able to draw from this experience years down the line that'll help them pick themselves up when they need to. And I think that's an important thing. So does that give you a little introduction into where we're at?
Coach Akey, you talked about how difficult yesterday was. What was your first kind of message after the news and the guys were trying to assimilate it all? What was your kind of first message to the team after they learned about the change that was taking place?
Well, we met together as a team yesterday morning, and informed them what was going on and what we needed to do in regards to moving forward. And what I put out to them was the kind of what we talked about here a little bit already in regards to, there's some goals that are still out there for this football team in regards to winning the damn game together. Okay. And my hope is that they will draw on each other to be able to make that experience happen. They've been working their tails off over there in the weight room and out on the field and out on this field to get to that point, and that they would unite together to help make that be the case. And they can do it. Everybody's motivated in different ways, but our motivation is that we will do it together as Beavers, that we can do it together to help each other accomplish those goals and to get it righted moving forward.
Coach, how much do you anticipate, in terms of shuffling of assignments, and how much autonomy do you have in terms of what you as the interim head coach will be asking of your other assistant coaches now going forward?
Well, we're in a situation right now where things are different, and they got different for all of us, and myself included in that last week, and even more so at this point in time right now. And so coaches, we're no different than everybody else. This is it sudden change. There was a turnover, whatever it was took place out there on the field. Life is just the same way, and that's the way we're approaching it right now. Okay, so obviously we've got changes throughout the football team at this point in time. On the defensive side of the ball, we're going to have a new linebacker coach. We're going to have a new play caller way we're going about things, but we can still build off of what guys are accustomed to and being able to make it happen that way. So what do I mean? As a defensive staff, we're going to get together here in about an hour, and we'll start getting the plan put together like we do every Monday at 1:00. We get that put together, and we've got a hell of a defensive staff that has a great amount of experience. We've got numerous guys, myself included, that have been defensive coordinators and are good teachers, and we will put the plan together the same way that we always do. The thing that'll be different is Coach Bray won't be walking in to that meeting with us. We'll be putting the plan together, and between with myself and Mark Kreiner is going to coach the linebackers, and he's been working with those guys as we've gone through the season. So and he's a good coach. He'll be able to help take care of those guys with Coach Marshall and Coach Tuiaki up front, and Coach Chance and Coach Coop in the secondary, and obviously myself. I've been working with these guys as well. We'll get the plan put together, and we'll hit it with Coach Tuiaki, Coach Chance operating as co-coordinators, and we'll get the plan put together, and we're going to go attack 5 opponents as we move forward. Special teams has been impacted again, and so that will be. I've got it directed that we'll do it within amongst the staff. Different guys everybody's going to be teaching guys and coaching guys within each team, and I'll have a different coach and that'll be handling each. Different the kickoff team, the kickoff return team, the punt team. I will also be involved in those, and so as a coach is involved with each one of those, and Daniel Akey's going to have his hands full because he's got to help these guys get everything put together, and we'll do it as a staff, as a football family. Offensively, we've got our a hell of a staff with a hell of a bunch of coaches in there, and we'll have that put together. They're in the process right now of getting the plan put together in regards to how we're going to attack these guys this week, and we'll do the same thing as we move forward. And Danny Langsdorf is going to call the plays for us this week. We got the crew is going to put the plan together. I've got good coaches in there that have been coordinators before. Danny's done it. He's done it here. He's done it at other places. He's got NFL experience. We've got the ability to make things happen in that fashion there. Our football team is seeing that they got, everybody is dealing with something right now, but we've got a great group of coaches that are in this for the right reasons that will be able to put it together. And, with Gundy and Cav and Pick and Pat and Will Heck and I think I got everybody in there. Those guys are going to get that plan put together and do it united. And then we're going to go and we're going to attack. And the bottom line, again, is that we make sure that these players are taken care of. They're going to see it and they're going to feel the energy from us tomorrow. I told them that yesterday. Yesterday was a sad day. Tomorrow's going to get to work today. Life is moving at us, so we're going to go attack life, and we're going to go attack our new opponents, and we're going to move forward. So that's the way, as a coaching staff, we're going to move forward, and we're going to do it with a ton of energy and a ton of excitement, and help each guy be able to be a better player today than he was. We find one little nugget that's going to help each guy and get as many of them we can moving forward, and we'll roll that way. So.
Last thing for me, Coach, what was the decision to have Danny call the plays? Was that part of was that you were given the keys as the interim head coach? Was that a decision you made, or was it a collectively made decision, or what?
I was told to run the show, and this is the way we're going to go moving forward. And I hope you guys are all right with that.
Thank you.
Coach, to clarify on that point, Ryan Gunderson obviously had served as offensive coordinator. Is he in a different role right now?
Yes, we're just, it's no different than, say, we've got a blitz, for example, that we think is a hell of a blitz. We may tweak a path within that blitz that maybe makes it a little bit better for an opponent that we're attacking, or a situation that we might be in. Well, we've got an offensive staff that's a hell of an offensive staff. Those guys are going to work together to make it all happen. The play call is going to come out of a different mouth. That's what's going to be a little bit different. So will there be a little spark in there? There may be. And will there be great minds putting it together? There is, and there has been. And that may create a little bit, that creates a little bit more. And it's not because I don't think Gundy is a good coach. He's a hell of a coach. He's a smart guy, and he's an even better person. He's a hell of a person. And I know it's not easy for Coach Gunderson to. I've sat in that chair when you're doing things and you get told, hey, we're going to do something a little bit different. I know that that's not an easy thing. And that's why I've got a great amount of respect for him, because the players matter, and we'll help get the plan put together. But you got to look at your staff when you're in the perfect world, when everything is the way you want it to be. You still handle wrinkles within your staff as you go, and there's a lot of places throughout the NFL and in the country that you can have a coordinator that doesn't call plays. It just means you're doing things, we're changing things up a little bit different. Hell, you never know. It takes a few days to get the wishbone put in, so it might take I thought it was going to be.
For sure. And obviously when a portal window, or when a coach is fired, a portal window opens up. Do you expect to have the same team out there on Saturday, or do you expect that there are going to be several players that do exercise that?
Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about that again tomorrow. And obviously the portal window is a new wave of college football. It's the scenario that we're all in. Is there a chance of that? Yes. But my hope and desire is that our players have the understanding, and maybe they've got to bind to each other. They want to make this thing happen. And in the bottom line of things, in the reality of this world, if I want to go in the portal, my best opportunity is to put 5 great tapes out there that say, hey, you guys want to give me $2 million to come play for you, or whatever. Or maybe I get the opportunity to be invited to stay here. And I've got a chance to go make it happen that way. I hope that's the last thing in their mind. I hope their motivation is the fact that we have toiled together, we have worked together for so hard for so long, that we will be together and trying to go win 5 games. That's my hope. But the reality of the world that we're in, that's where it's at. So that could that happen? Yes, but I don't see the advantage. I really don't see what the advantage would be for anybody to try to put themselves in there now, when they're going to be able to do it when the season ends anyways. And that would be much more advantageous for any guy that was looking to put himself in the portal. And I do know that to be a fact, because we've taken guys out of the portal where I've been before. We've taken guys out of the portal. You look at what they do. Who you are is what is on tape. And so if you see like what you see on tape, you say, hey, that guy could help us. If you are not on tape, it's hard for me to say that you could help me. And so I hope that that will be the case. But I hope that, like I said a minute ago, I hope that that's the last case. I hope they do it because they want to finish things out together. That answered your question.
Yes.
Aaron Liddy, KBL, KMTR TV. You mentioned last week when you got a chance to talk to you that you thought that the players responded really well to Bray. And I feel like talking to him, a big theme for him this year in the post-game press conference has been just lack of execution. Where do you feel like that response didn't show up on the field, and why do you believe that is?
Well, that's what football, the game is, and it happens at every level. And you bust your tail to the communication takes place during the course of the week. It takes place at all points in time. And obviously, if something has gone awry on the field, somebody didn't get their job done. And the thing that affects us on defense, and that's what defensive guys understand, one mistake, one guy out of 11 out of position, that can be fatal for everybody. And the same thing in special teams. One mistake, one guy in the wrong spot can be fatal for everybody. That offensive world, they get 3 down. It doesn't work on first down. Hey, we can land them, play second down. If it's not there, I can throw it away. I get third down. And if third down didn't work, we can punt the damn ball, and then we still get the field position game. That's the nature of our game. And generally speaking, if you watch any game, you watch the NFL games, you'll see something happen. A guy got picked or a guy got communication took place, and you got guys that have been doing it their whole lives that have been doing it together. Sometimes those things happen, and we've got to. So is that something that we always pay attention to? And like you said, it had been communicated before, and sometimes it's a different scenario that is what takes place, and that's where, as a coach, you keep. We got to keep pounding on, hey, this is where things need to be. And so that's the reason that we practice every day. And that's the reason we keep those things going, to try to get that to be to the minimum. And we got to help those guys through that scenario. Because what I think sometimes, everybody's competitive, everybody wants to win, and nobody more so than the coaches and the players. And I know that the fans are faithful as can be. Everybody wants to see their team win the national championship. If you didn't win every game by 99 points and they didn't score a 0, then something was wrong and it was bad. And there's not one player that goes out there with the goal, say, hey, I'm really going to blow this one. I'm not going to talk to Billy over here. That doesn't happen. But in the nature of the game, and things happen fast, sometimes those scenarios do take place. That's why we create as many of those scenarios as we can during the course of the week practice. There's never been one play called on any of the 3 phases of the game with the expectation that it's not going to be the exact right thing to do or the right situation to be in. I guess that's the reason that they call it a game, and it's not a science. And but I think as good teachers, we continue doing those things. But I know there's times when over my career, we've been doing stuff, and you look at, that team down there that at Alabama was pretty damn good, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. They won a string of national championships, and they were murdering people on defense. But there was a lot of that tape we looked at when we're exploring ideas. You always do different things, and you see the same thing happening in those games. It's just a matter of you overcome the situation. Somebody else made the play, whatever the case may be. Those things a lot of times even take place on big plays that work for you. We've had sacks where somebody got lost in coverage, but we sacked the quarterback. We've had touchdowns where a guy might have missed this block, but got it to a ball to somebody else that was able to make something happen. So it's a matter of trying to get those to a minimum and then and make more of those plays that happen against you. And I don't know if maybe that's if I answered your question or not, but it's a common occurrence, even when you're having success, I guess, is what I'm telling you. And we've got to make sure that we make it to be to the minimum. And that's our goal working forward right now.
Robb Akey from KPTV. Challenging times, important times, so certainly here for the program and moving forward to do Pac-12. You've been around it. You've now coached against it. You've been here. What makes this place special and unique and inviting for the next leader of this program whenever that happens?
How long you guys want to hang around here? Because there's a lot of real cool stuff about this. And what we've got that we're moving forward to is, I think there's a lot of reason that everybody should be. Our Beaver Nation should be excited about what we've got, what's the table is set and what we can do moving forward. We've got a new league. That's going to be an exciting thing. We've got the ability with a great place here to be able to make it happen. And so what do I mean by that? Well, I've been in the Northwest, and again, I can't tell you how happy I am to be back on this side of the country again. It's been awesome, and getting in here, Oregon State was a place that I've always had a great awareness of. I mean, connections to. I've had great friends that have coached here back in the day. Trent was one of them. As a player, hell, we tried to recruit him to play for us at Washington State. When I was at Washington State, we went against these guys all the time, and the places like this are the places I like better. SC and UCLA, I don't really care to be in the city. I think there's a lot of things that get in the way when you're in the city. You take a look at a place like this, and so I come in here and think, hey, we're glad to be back out in the West. But then the way we were welcomed, when I say we, I say myself, the new coaches, my family, by the people of Corvallis, all the surrounding area, the things that are available, the way the people are, it's outstanding. We've got a top-notch university. What we've got here with the facilities, we've done a great number of things been done. I remember when I used to come here, I remember walking down that ramp and having beer bottles and stuff like that thrown at me because I was wearing a different shirt at that point in time. And but it's the stadium has been built up and things. We've got the ability to do a great job taking care of our kids. We've got a great amount of people here. The great people doing great things. You've got. I talked about the school, but I can, when you talk about bringing guys to this environment, you can look mom and dad in the eye and the people around them in the eye and say, hey, I can take care of your son here. I can put him in a safe place, and they don't have the distractions that come with the city. A lot of times when you're in those city situations, your players don't even see each other except for when they're at practice. I remember recruiting against one of those schools and had a guy on visit at our place and we were at one of our recruiting functions, and he asked me across the room, he said, hey, who's that guy over there? And I told him, well, I was so-and-so, because he had recognized him. He says, this happened last week. I was over at the visit at this other place, and I asked one of my hosts who that guy was over there. It was one of his teammates, and he didn't even know who that guy was. But our guys live together. They live together. They're around each other all the time. It's the environment is outstanding, and it's made to work. And as I look here and I say, hey, shit, there's a lot of things that are awesome about this place. And then as you look at it, as we go into this new league, we should expect to be front runners at this new league. And obviously we go in, get ourselves on a streak, get some guys feeling good about things again. They should feel good going to attack the new league and approach it. We need to get a little swagger back in our tails. And I would like to think, and I know the Beaver Nation is ready for that. They want to feel good about things, and there should be some great excitement about what we've got moving forward. And I think it's an opportunity to be able to explode and make some things happen. And we've got to get some doom and gloom out of the way right now and get the dust to clear. But I think as you move forward, there's a lot to be excited for. That was not too long of an answer for you.
Thanks. Rob, Bill Lauren with the Oregonian. In your role as an advisor to Trent, when you came in here, it seemed like part of that was to kind of help bring along a young, learning head coach.
Obviously, I did a hell of a job. Huh?
But no, I'm sorry. But I'm wondering what you saw from Trent as a head coach and what some of the challenges he encountered in just trying to grow into the job were, and how we ended up in this position.
Well, that's there's a lot that goes into that. Like I just look at, I compare it to a lot of things that I went through over time, and I think it happens to every coach. So I remember, when you're a young coach, you're an assistant coach, you're dying to be a coordinator. You're ready to be that coordinator, and you got a plan, and you got a way that you're going to go about doing it. This is going to work, and then all of a sudden you're sitting in that chair and you think, oh shit, here we go. And then as a coordinator, you get it going and everything's rolling well. And you say, hey man, it's time. I'm ready to be a head coach, and I can't wait to be a head coach. And you get that opportunity, and then all of a sudden that door closes and everybody else is gone. You think, okay, it was a good idea at the time. Am I ready for this? And you are, and you got to trust that you are. And I think I said this to a lot of y'all last week. And that's one of the things that I thought was so cool about Coach Bray, because he's got a great defensive way about him, but he's got a great way about him with the players. And it didn't matter what position a guy played. He could give him a hard time. He knew when to put an arm around him. He knew the right thing to say, and he could say something that a lot of other people couldn't say to a guy because of the relationships that he had built. And I thought that was outstanding. And I think there's so many things he did that were in a great way, and there's things you end up they finished last season with it was hard in regards to a lot of injuries had taken place. Well, we've been dealt with that this season as well. There have been some things that have taken place that make it it is what it is. And it happens everywhere. It's a violent game, and you're gonna lose bodies that way. And we got to keep helping guys to be ready that are going to be the next guy up, and it has to work that way. So think some of those things have happened. We played, what was it, the hardest schedule in the country or whatever going into this deal. And that Oregon team and that Texas Tech team are pretty damn strong. And if we sit here, we're still kicking ourselves because we felt like the Houston game, we had the opportunity to finish that damn thing. And the unfortunate thing is that any one of those, you make that play and you finish and get over there. Well, that changes the spectrum for anything. Like y'all been out camping. We're in the outdoors area up here, and you're building that fire, and you get it going, and you get that little spark, and it starts to go, and then it dwindles out. But then all of a sudden, there's a little spark. Something gets in there, and it takes off. Maybe you got a little gasoline. You pour that on there. Well, then that changes, and you get a little bit of momentum going. Well, the momentum didn't happen for us. It didn't happen. It hasn't happened yet, and that's what happened. And so it was. And it's been frustrating for all of us, but I don't think you can, everybody better look at Coach Bray and say, that dude, you have a lot of respect for him. And it was, there's the nature of things that happen to people, that happen to programs, that it makes things take a little bit longer, it goes a little different direction. There's a guy that I know that won an awful lot of games that people think is a really, 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 really good head coach. And he's down there in Las Vegas now, and he got fired in the NFL twice being a head coach, and he was, I think, either the fourth or the fifth choice when he went to USC, and then he got the thing rolling at USC, and they think Pete Carroll's a guy that everybody thinks pretty highly of. Well, he was also a guy that it didn't work for whatever reason. It hadn't clicked just yet, but it didn't mean that he's not a good head football coach. It just didn't work at that place at that point in time. And I think that that's the way that you have to look at it with Trent. It wasn't because Trent didn't bust it. I don't know if everybody knows how much that Trent or coaches in general put into what they do, but what Trent put into this place, this is his home. This is his. I mean, he's bled on that field out there, and those fields over there and did things when nobody could see it. And so that's where you feel bad for the guy, because it meant the world to him, and but it didn't happen. But that doesn't mean he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, or it can't work. And I hope that he gets the opportunity to be able to do it again, because I think he's capable of it. Got to answer your question?
Sure does. Thank you.
Mhm.
Hey, Coach Landon Barlett with the Statesman Journal.
Yeah.
Kind of back to the players and finding that motivation and that commitment to the program for the last 5 games of the season. Is that a responsibility you kind of bear on yourself to instill into them, or is that something you hope they kind of already possess, or is there conversations there? Does that make sense?
Kind of sort of does, yes. I look at it this way. You go to college to play football. Football better mean something. It's important to you, right? And getting your degree is important to you. Those things are a big deal, right? And there's different, everybody's motivated a little bit differently. Everybody's got reasons why they do it. There are some guys that actually are, even in college, they go play college football because dad wanted them to. Maybe some of them didn't always love it. I would like to think that our guys, I look at our guys and I think they like playing football, and we've got to make it be, fun for them again. And when you go out there and you work all week long, and you worked all off season, you got as strong as you could be, the best shape that you could be, you bust your tail to learn and do the things. And during the week of preparation for an opponent, you're busting your tail in those regards. And then you go out there in front of the good Lord and everybody at Point Switch, that's where stadium is. And when it doesn't happen your way, you feel like hell. And everybody responds to when it doesn't go their way in different fashions. And that's why there's need for coaches to be here, so we can help teach them, and we can also help motivate them, and we can help them get themselves into the right place. You got some, everybody responds to it differently in that fashion. So I would like to think that I've got, as a player, whoever I am, I've got 5 opportunities to be able to play, and I want that to be the best that I can. And I've got a whole team of my amigos that I want to do this together, and we need to be able to celebrate and have a good time and smile after we get done doing that again. And that we will pull each other along and how to make it happen. And I think that we've got that with these guys. I also am, I can see the scenario that we're in right now, and it's difficult. We haven't been able to walk off the game field with that success just yet. And the dad's not in house any longer, and there's some things like that that can make it be tough. And I think that that's again the responsibility of us, and that's what comes down to the most. Our responsibility is help them see where they need to go and help them understand how to pull themselves up and make it be. I mean, they call this thing a game for a reason. You play games for 2 reasons. You play them to win, you play them to have fun. Well, we got to win, and we need to make it fun, and we got to keep these guys going. And my expectation is that we've got a hell of a group of dupes here that will bust their tails to make it happen. And I think we've got a hell of a staff of people here that will help put them in those situations to make it be that way. And it's up to us to be the energizer in making that happen. And we will do that.
Last question.
Kerry Ayers, Rob,
Hi, Kerry.
points of clarification. Gundy is now quarterback's coach and Danny's offensive coordinator. Is that the fact or what's
We've got a whole staff of offensive coaches that are going to put the plan together, and Danny's going to call the plays.
okay? And as far as you know, no players have come to you and said, I'm trying to transfer at this point.
Not to me. Nope. And my goal is that they'll want to finish together and that they will do it for the right reasons.
Well, last question. You can't reinvent the wheel probably at this point. How much different will your philosophy be than Trent's?
Well, everybody is themselves, I think, and I think it's you'll see what we do as we go about it, and these guys will be excited about things, and we're going to bust our tails to make it be that way. And like I said, the funeral ended yesterday. We got the happy stuff. The excited part needs to start tomorrow, and that's how they get the opportunity to show to each other what they're able to do to make the good thing happen. And that's the way we got to go moving forward. And you see the wish going on offense and the 5-3 stack monster on defense, then you'll see, hey, maybe it's a little different. Come to the game Saturday night and find out. And I promise you this, I know this, it means the world to these players. It means the world to this staff, and it means the world to the guys within this. I can't say that enough. They bust their tails in everything that they do. And I also know that we've got a fan base. The Beaver Nation wants to see the success as well. And we will be busting our tails to make it good for each other, but also to make it something that the Beaver Nation says, hey, we want to be a part of this. We want to continue to be a part of this because we need them to be a part of this. We need all of us together. It's us against the world. The Beavers against everybody. Thank you all very much. Appreciate you. See you Saturday night.